RV Life is the best trip planning software out there, and today we're going to show you some new changes coming along that's going to make it even better. Hey everybody, welcome to Tigner Adventures. My name is David, and today I'm going to be talking to you about some new and upcoming things with RV Life that maybe you didn't know about, because my wife and I had the opportunity to work with employees from RV Life at the Tampa RV show. We got to ask all kinds of questions. They showed us new things. They explained where the company's going and what's so exciting about things, that are happening right now. We also met a number of you guys. You showed us different things. We showed you a bunch of things. So hopefully this will be a good opportunity for you to learn a little bit more about RV Life. Now, they just passed 3 million subscribers, and there's a reason they are doing so well. And that's because they are the Cadillac of trip planning software. I have mentioned that in several of my videos before. I have a whole section set aside just for trip planning that you can go back and look at and everything. It helps you plan the trips and everything. But I have tried them all. I belong to all of them. I pay for all of them. Okay, so I have tried them, and I can tell you from personal experience that this is the best trip planning software ever. So let's just take a minute to look at this. This is my trip right here. We are currently showing you the old version. I was really surprised how many people did not realize that there is a new version of TripWizard coming out. And you do have the option here. If you look, you can see right here where it says take a peek at our future designs, and you can switch back anytime. And if I bring up the vision on here, the sidebar right here, you can see that basically every stop that I am going to be stopping at is listed here on the left-hand side of the screen. Now, that is the old version. The new version currently doesn't do that, and so I just wanted to address that for just a minute. So let's go ahead and preview the new design. So right up here in the top right corner, we can say preview new design. So now you can notice here you are previewing the new TripWizard. So here is the new TripWizard design right here. Over here on the left-hand side, you'll notice that the only thing that's showing up here now are my stops, and that is something that's going to change. A number of you have given your input, and that's the whole idea of this option here, is that up here in the top right corner it says let us know your thoughts. So you can give feedback to them, and you're helping develop this. And that's one of the coolest things I love about this company, is they are really hands-on with their subscribers. They really listen to everything that we're saying. And so they are looking at this, and a lot of people complained about the fact that it's not showing all the information on the left here. Now, it does have it available to you, but if you look at my last video, you had to click on one of these options right here. For example, this one, you just click this arrow, and it breaks it down into all the different places that you're going for the day and what's going on. Well, that is a little confusing in some ways, and so people wanted the option to see everything the way they used to do it. And so they are working to make those changes. There's a lot of things happening still. There's some different bugs that they're still working out. For example, the fuel hasn't been working all the way correctly and everything, so they're working on that. There's a few knowing things, and I don't know everything. The help desk tracks all that information, and so they are making notes of that and passing that on to the developers. So they're working on those things, and the goal is to get this out as quickly as they can so they can quit supporting the old version. Now, what that means for us is it's better to start looking at this now than to all of a sudden one day jump in here and find out that the version has changed. And one other thing that I want to mention about the actual map trip planning portion of it before we move on to the app is that when TripWizard is planning out your route, a lot of people were complaining that it plans the route, and then when it goes to navigate, it's different. So I wanted to explain that really quick, as it was explained to me by one of their help desk people, is that when TripWizard is navigating your trip, it's based on what's in your garage, right? Whatever your primary vehicle in your garage is. Right now, that's my motorhome. So it's based on the height, weight, and length of that rig and whether I'm carrying propane. So TripWizard utilizes that entry in the garage and goes through and plans out the best route when it's mapping it out on my map. Now, when it comes time to leave, because I'm doing this clear back in October is when I first created this trip. When I go to leave on my trip within the app and I go to navigate, it goes out and looks at the conditions available to you for that trip that day. And so that's why sometimes it could be different. And it does give you, if you look here, I do have alternate routes that I can go, but depending on road conditions and things like that, it may preference a different one than what was actually on my map. And that's why that's happening. It's still basing it on what's in your garage. So you just need to make sure what's in your garage on your phone. It should be the same as what's on your garage that's on your app, or within the on the computer within TripWizard. It should be the same, but double check your garage settings within your app also to make sure it's the same, but it will navigate accordingly. Now it doesn't do where it changes as you're going, but it looks at those conditions as you're starting your trip, and then based on that, that's how it navigates you today. So if something happens on the way, then it doesn't do that yet, is what I've been told. So that is on the planning block, but that doesn't happen that way yet. But at least it's doing it first thing in the morning when you start out, because conditions can change from, especially back in October when I originally planned that, and this is now January. So it's nice that it's keeping all that in check, and it also gives me alternate routes and I can make those choices accordingly. This new version works so much better on a phone than the old version. And because of that, that's why they're making these changes and everything, trying to put this all together to make life easier. And so I'm going to show you some things on the phone that is pretty exciting, just changes they've made on that. But I just wanted to point out here on the map that this is the new version. It's a lot like the old version in a lot of ways, as far as planning and adding stops and everything. So get in there and switch over there and start checking that out now, because this will really save you a lot of time when they do switch later. Okay, now the next couple options that I want to talk to you about are going to deal with the phone itself. It's the app, the way the app runs on the phone, the way that you can edit some of the your trips and things on the phone. So we're going to start off by on the phone here. You can see this is my home screen. I'm just going to go ahead and select the RV Life app. The first thing that comes up here is their just default screen. So if you look right here, down at the bottom, you have your home, maps, trips, GPS, and more. One of the things that is very different between this software and a lot of others is that this one has the option for you to download your maps. Now, this isn't just downloading your trip for the day. That's what most others do. This one actually has the option to download the whole state. So in doing so, the cool thing about that people don't realize is that when you go on a trip and you're going from here to there and you lose cell signal halfway through, for example, it's cool that your trip has been downloaded and you can get to your destination fine. But what about the next destination you're headed to, whether it's tomorrow morning or next week, whatever, and you have no cell service? All of a sudden your apps don't work. And so if they're not downloaded, if the map's not downloaded ahead of time, you're not going to be able to navigate that first portion of your trip. And I think that's what's a lot of people kind of don't think about. And so the whole cool thing about RV Life is that you download the whole state, which means that you can still use their standard GPS option here and create a whole brand new trip when you're just sitting there with no cell service, because you've got the whole map on your phone. And so of that area. Now, one thing I wanted to point out about that, though, that can be a little confusing in some ways, because I just thought, oh, hey, I'm just going to download everything. And if you remember on our map here, we have a lot of states that we're covering. And so if I go to update right here, it says I have 811 megs of downloads total that's available right now, because the maps are changing, destinations, things are changing within the destinations and things like that. So it's important to go in here, and I'm going to click on this more option over here, and I'm going to go up here and say offline maps. And you'll notice that it wants me to update the offline maps. Now I'm going to say not now for right now, and I'm going to click on the United States right here. Now, the cool thing about this is if you look here, you can see how many states that I've actually got downloaded already, okay? And so as I'm going through here, I've already gone through Mississippi, so I don't need Mississippi downloaded again. I don't need that update done. And so I'm just going to go ahead and remove that download. And so that removes that space, frees up that space on my phone so I can take care of that. I'm going to also go down here to Louisiana. I'm not there anymore, so I'm going to remove that. And so if I go through and I clean up this so that all that's on here that I'm downloading is the state that I'm in or the state coming up, then my download updates will be a lot less and it'll take me a lot less time. So just keep that in mind when you're utilizing that download thing. I think that you need to use that all the time because people say, well, I'm just driving through the city, there's lots of cell towers, whatever. I think you guys have had the situation where all of a sudden you've lost cell service because something happens to the cell carrier, right? So you don't need that happening when you're on your trip. So it's better to download those ahead of time, and then that way you always have those with you no matter what's going on with the cell carrier, no matter if you go into different areas that have no cell service, you always have those maps. And so that's one thing I wanted to mention about the app itself. Make sure you deal with those offline maps because that is a very, very important portion of RV Life and the app, just making that stuff available to you. If you notice on the right hand side of that little deal, there's not really an explanation other than there's a pencil there. I didn't know what that was, but guess what? If you click on that, so let's go ahead and just click on that right now, it actually opens up your web browser and brings up TripWizard. Now I see my trip right here on my phone and I can go ahead and click on it and it takes me into the trip. And now these are the differences between utilizing a small screen compared to a big screen. But you'll notice that all my details are on the screen right here, and at the bottom it says trip. I can then click on map and I can see my actual map. So I can do all my editing right here on my phone. And so that's why we're going to create a video just showing you how to create a trip utilizing just your phone, because they've got it right here. In this case, you have to go into the app and then click on that little pencil to get to it. I've also showed you a way before where you just down here at the bottom, if you click on this on the iPhone, if you click on these little dots, it has the option here where you can click on share and you can go down and you add this to your home screen. And so then that shows you this particular icon like this, so that now I can just click on TripWizard and it does the same identical thing. It just takes me right into my trip planning from my home screen. And you can do that same thing on an Android, just share it to your home screen. I helped a couple people do that, so I know it works just the same on Android. It's just in a different place and it might be called something different, I can't remember, but it's the same idea, and you're just creating a shortcut so that you can go from your phone right into the app. But that's pretty cool that the RV Life app already has that there, and they, as time goes on, this will be integrated more and more together. And that's one of the exciting things about this new version, and why we need to get everything over to the new version so that they can spend all their time developing all these new features that you and I are requesting that they incorporate. So that is a pretty cool thing there. I didn't know what that was for, and so I just thought, well, if I didn't know what that was, then maybe you guys didn't either. So hopefully that'll help you out there just a little bit and make that a little bit easier, because I have done on the fly changes as we've been out and about, and I found out that, you know what, it's actually pretty easy to make changes. The biggest thing is that down here on the bottom you have this trip, map, and research. So it takes a little bit getting used to switching back and forth between those, so because your screen is only so big. But other than that, and then it's just the touchscreen piece of it, so which is in that particular case no different than doing it on an iPad. So I talked to a number of you that use your iPad for everything. I talked to a number of you that use only your phone. So it's interesting how this all works in conjunction with each other. I love the laptop. When I'm just sitting around watching TV, I just have it right up there big and I can do all whatevers. But I'll tell you, I really love this option on the phone that makes it so I can make changes as I'm going along, because sometimes things change and we decide we don't want to do that. This map is always changing as we drive around, and that's the thing I love about the way that this works compared to other software packages that I've reviewed and checked out to see, you know, as far as map planning. So that's why I've been using this for over 7 years myself. So anyway, as soon as I found it, I fell in love with it. If you use our QR code, you can get 25% off if you're not already a subscriber of RV Life. So if you are already a subscriber, then you are all set. So that's great. But I'll tell you, ever since I found it, it does come with a 7-day free trial. A lot of people say, oh, that's not very long. Well, I'll tell you, within the first hour or two that I had it going, I realized that this was definitely a keeper. So hopefully you feel the same way. And I know a lot of you do, because as you came by the booth, everyone kept saying, I love it, I use it all the time. And you can't, I mean, there were so many people coming by saying that it just made you feel really good that you're with a winning product. I'm going to be doing a few more videos on this. I wanted to show some different things, that ways that things have changed and how that's going to be working as time goes on, and how to make your life easy on planning. I have a video that I'm working on where I'm doing the whole trip on my iPhone. And so, you know, a lot of you said, hey, nobody ever does anything showing on iPhone. They always show it just on a laptop. Well, I'm guilty of that because it's so easy on my laptop. But I have been finding out that it is pretty easy to do a lot of things on my phone, and my wife does everything on her phone. And I'm always stuck on my laptop. So it's so nice to have the phone with me. And so now I've been making changes and things on my phone, and it's actually pretty cool how easy it is to do that. So we will be covering that, coming up in some other videos and things that we've got coming out. So you can see there's some exciting things coming about with TripWizard. I don't want to go into in too much detail. I'll make a few more videos just because they start getting a little bit long here. But there are things to be excited about. I love all the changes. You know what I really love is the fact that I got to visit with a number of the employees, and so did you guys that came by the booth. You got to talk to them and see what their direction is and how they feel about the product. So it's fun to see that and meet those individuals. So we did have a lot of fun with those. So that was one of the cool things that we got to do this January. So that's why we are winners when it comes to TripWizard, and you are too. So remember, check it out. If you haven't done that already, you can just utilize our QR code, but otherwise, make sure you're using it, trying out that new version, giving your feedback to them, because that's what's important. So hopefully that helps you out a lot. Thanks for coming along with me today, and I will work on some other ones, but please put in the description there certain questions that you may have, because I know when you came along through the booths and things, people had questions, and we were happy to answer those. So put those questions in the comments below, and we will work on getting those answered for you. And if we don't know the answer, we'll definitely try to find it out for you. So, and possibly make more options, more videos with that in there. So thanks for coming along. Hopefully we'll see you on our next video. So you guys take care.